If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
I live in Florida. I was just watching the news right now, and I saw the Brevard County Sheriff came on and was talking about like the riots and stuff. And he was like, if you're not gonna peacefully protest, then we're just gonna call your family and let them know where your remains are, because we're gonna shoot you dead in the street. He literally said they will shoot you dead. He was like, oh, I know they've been, rioting in California, but this isn't California. We will shoot you. How counterproductive is that for society? This is why things turn violent, because when people peacefully protest, nothing happens. You're supposed to be protecting the people, and you're protecting ICE. Why don't you take a look at why people don't like ICE and why people are protesting in the first place?
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my space. This is Ivan Srayola. Guys, thank you so much for tuning to watch today's episode. I do not take your support for granted. So guys, on today's video, we want to discuss, the recent news where one of the Florida's sheriffs took it to national television to threaten protesters, in Florida. He said, unlike California, he wants to ensure that the protesters, in Florida follow the law. But one of the things that was so absurd was him threatening, to kill some of these protesters who had, he said people who throw bricks are some of the people at high risk. And people have taken it online to complain and just ask themselves, why do leaders threaten its citizens? Why would a sheriff threaten the citizens of Florida and tell them that if they did this and that, they'll be killed down, they'll be gunned down? Family, that came with a lot of shock, and people have since taken online to just complain and share their views. Here are some of the reactions from Americans. I want you to watch this series of videos. Once they're done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this together, family.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
When I was in the war zone, I've had many things thrown at me. Bricks, saw blades, Molotov cocktails, rocks, and not a single fucking time did we shoot into the crowd. We were specifically told that we do not kill unarmed civilians in Iraq in a fucking war zone. And every single one of you veterans that have been in Iraq or Afghanistan, you fucking know. You fucking know. So why is this sheriff telling the public that if American citizens throw rocks at his officers, that they are going to fucking shoot them dead? Why is he doing that in Iraq when we didn't even do that shit in a fucking war zone? Tell me. Fucking tell me. Every single one of you veterans, you fucking know. You fucking know. And let me remind you that at these protests, it is going to be your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your aunts, your uncles, your friends, their children, and this motherfucker is telling his police officers to shoot into the crowd if somebody throws a fucking rock. Tell me again how this is not authoritarianism. Tell me. I would love to know. Now, I need to be careful what I say on this app, because I assure you, if that happens, people are going to regret it. People are absolutely going to regret it. This is not what we stand for. It is not. It is absolutely not. And if you think that it is, then you are a fucking traitor. And I have never said that on this app ever. I do not use that word lightly. If you think shooting civilians for throwing rocks at law enforcement is an acceptable action, then you are an absolute fucking traitor. To that sheriff, that motherfucker's a liability. He is an absolute liability. Be disciplined, love your country, and quit being a fucking dumbass.
I live in Florida. I was just watching the news right now, and I saw the Brevard County Sheriff came on and was talking about like the riots and stuff. And he was like, if you're not going to peacefully protest, then we're just going to call your family and let them know where your remains are, because we're going to shoot you dead in the street. He literally said they will shoot you dead. He was like, oh, I know they've been, rioting in California, but this isn't California. We will shoot you. How counterproductive is that for society? This is why things turn violent, because when people peacefully protest, nothing happens. You're supposed to be protecting the people, and you're protecting ICE. Why don't you take a look at why people don't like ICE and why people are protesting in the first place?
To my protesters in the Florida area, if you out there protesting, make sure you keeping it peaceful. Come on, Sip a little tea with Auntie, let's talk about it. So, in the Florida area, there is a Florida sheriff, who has, I'm not even going to say it's a warning. I think it's not even a threat. I think it's a promise. He said, if you come out there with a brick, a stick, or any type of weapon to cause harm to these officers that's out there patrolling, you will be unalived. Your family will have to come to identify your body. The way he typed it, and I think he even spoke it as well, I don't think it's a threat, y'all. It's a promise. They're going out there with that evil intent in their head, waiting on anybody to make one false move so they can make an example out of them. Don't you be the one. Keep it peaceful. Matter of fact, not just the Florida area, y'all, there will be between 16 and 1,800 different protests tomorrow, which is Donald Trump's birthday. 16 to 1,800 protests all around the world for Donald Trump's birthday, y'all. If you're going to be a part of one of those protests, keep it peaceful. Don't allow these people to make an example out of you, because that's what they're looking to do. Because it don't call for all of that is going on, y'all. Keep it peaceful. Donald Trump parade is tomorrow, y'all. This man had to pay people. They had to pay people. I get why the parade was going to cost millions of dollars. They had to pay people to put on the MAGA t-shirts and the Make America Great hats. He couldn't get enough people who support him to go out there and put their t-shirt and their hat on for free. They had to pay him. I seen the ad with my own eyes. What's it coming to, y'all? Stay prayed up, most importantly. Y'all, we living in our final days, our last days. Get your house in order. If your house isn't in order, the time is now for to get your house in order, because a whole lot of things that are in the Bible that they said what he said would unfold, they're definitely unfolding. Yes, ma'am, they are. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea with Auntie. Bye, y'all.
Did y'all see how? Y'all about to see how excited he got when he said, "Oh, boy, let me demonstrate on what we like to do to unruly civilians, or civilians that's just using their rights to speak freely." We're gonna roll the tape.
All right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got.
Told you what they used to doing. Jail, run you down, wear you out, hospital, or kill you graveyard dead. So he just explained in detail of what they will do what they're capable of, what they've been doing, especially to our black men and women. Oh, don't do what they say. Last time I checked, we were free. Talk back, going to jail. Run, we gonna run you down. If you step in front of somebody's car, they got the... He just gave civilians in Florida the green light to run the people over. He just told you in detail what they are used to doing without batting an eye. If that don't tell you something, somebody needs to look at that police station and every single official in that department, in every department across the U.S. states. Because he said that with way too much confidence and conviction and like it's okay. Did anybody else get what I just got? I mean, hey, I'm just the messenger. The man just told you what they used to doing and what they don't have a problem doing without batting an eye. What type of people, where these people come from? What type of people are these people? That's another conversation. I'll be back with it.
Crazy, terrifying breaking news. A Florida sheriff just told Americans he's ready to kill them. In a press conference ahead of the No Kings protest, Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey said, quote, "If you throw a brick, firebomb, point a gun at us, or attack one of my deputies, we will kill you. Graveyard dead." Those were his exact words. He also told families they'd be notified where to collect the remains. So to be clear, Ivey said peaceful protests are welcome, but he made no mention of de-escalation, no reminders about the right to free assembly. His message was just blunt. If you protest, cross a line, deadly force will be used on you. This comes as tensions rise nationwide over ICE raids, National Guard deployments, and reports of civil rights violations. And it raises an important question. Are local law enforcement now taking their cues from Trump's militarized approach to protests? Rights groups say this kind of language can escalate violence, not prevent it. In a democracy, police aren't supposed to issue public threats to citizens. I want to show you a picture of this guy because everybody should know who this guy is. This man was elected. He was elected to hold this position, and this is how he talks to the people that elected him. This man, in my opinion, should not be in power. This man should be stripped and sent back to wherever he came from, because this is the type of person should be thrown out of our country.
A Florida sheriff warned that if there are protests in his county on Saturday, they have the right to kill you and notify your family of where to collect your remains. He also said that they will send their dogs to bite you.
You block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tight because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
There are mass protests planned for the 14th, which is the same day as Trump's birthday military parade. And some states are allowing protests to happen, but some places like Florida are now saying you cannot protest here, which is part of your First Amendment right to the right to assemble. And Governor DeSantis also said that anybody that hits a protester with their car, they won't go to jail for that because that's now considered self-defense.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you.
Seems to be the place that all of the crazy racists that have had to operate in kind and status quo are now coming out of the woodworks. And if our leader is crazy, why would they keep anything under wraps? everyone in Florida that is planning to protest on Saturday, please stay safe. Your governor does not care about your First Amendment rights, and I don't know what will occur there.
Graveyard dead.
A lot of you have seen that video where that Florida man warned protesters they'd be graveyard dead if they showed up and messed with him. Let's see how they do it in Texas.
I'm looking at 4 philosophies that I have here with these protests. Reasonable, it's restricting the fewest freedoms possible. I want people to protest. I will be there with you. I will facilitate that as best I can. Peaceful protest and peaceful assembly. Disarming, limiting the use of force, the coercion and intrusiveness. I don't want officers to have to make arrests. I don't want officers to use force. Focused, we target only harmful behaviors and conditions. So the goal is, within a crowd, agitators are really good at hiding behind people that are there to peacefully assemble. And what they do is they'll create this chaos. We're going to have targeted enforcement into those people and remove them from the protest and allow this protest to continue on.
That's the tone we're looking for. That's how you do it. So maybe, crazy idea, we should put more women in charge. That's Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis telling protesters, show up peacefully, show up in protest, but if agitators show up, they will be removed. No words of graveyard dead, we're gonna sick them dogs on you. That is how you address the public. Because if you've been in a customer service job, the energy you put toward the customer is the energy you're going to get back. In the art of de-escalation, if you start at an 11, you're never going to get back down to a 1. So it is important for leaders to effectively communicate with the public. And Lisa Davis appears at least to have the messaging on point there. And it is a stark contrast to the Florida man. Graveyard dead, everybody. So I just say this again, if you're out there protesting today, please be safe. If you find agitators, remove yourself from that situation. But be safe, be loud, show up, let the world know in America, there are no kings. It is we the people.
If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
That's the Brevard County, Florida Sheriff, and he's just laying it down what's going to happen if y'all start pulling the shit that's going on in California in his county. I see a whole lot of people in the comments that seem really confused about the death threats, thinking that this is something new. No, this is what happens in Florida. Florida is the you loot, we shoot state. It is the fuck around and find out state. While other states are empathizing with the criminals that have victimized people in the community, Florida don't play none of that, bro. It is not the state that you want to go if you plan on committing some crimes. These sheriff's jobs is to protect the law-abiding citizens within their communities, and they take that job serious as a heart attack. But do y'all think that saying this type of stuff on TV is too much? Let me know down in the comments.
Florida, listen up. The Brevard County Sheriff went on live TV and pretty much said if anyone is pushing back at these protests, that they will sick dogs on them to bite them, or worse, they will notify your family to come collect your remains when they unalive you. Yes. And who is backing all of this? Of course, Governor Ron DeSantis, who then went on a podcast, because that's where all white male politicians go to spew their hate nowadays, and said that if you're driving a car and somebody's holding a sign like a protester, you can just run them over because they're impeding on your freedom of movement. Yes. Now, since Governor DeSantis thinks that he knows the law and he's above the law, let's talk about the investigation against him and his wife, who have a fake charity, Hope Florida, in which they took $10 million from a Medicaid lawsuit and funneled it into political campaigns, specifically ones that don't legalize gardening. And when asked to turn over tax records, bylaws, meeting notes, anything that would prove otherwise, they refused. So now they're under investigation. But this isn't new. This is the same governor who, after Hurricane Ian, like directly after, halted search and rescue so that he could stand in front of the wreckage. Time-sensitive rescue missions halted so that he could hold a press conference standing in front of the wreckage to make him look good. Yes, that happened. And it's also the same governor who just signed a bill that in 2026, silver and gold can be used as legal currency. Because that's what we're worried about here in Florida. Not that the state's literally drowning. Not that we have a governor who is, currently in a legal battle over money. But he thinks he's going to fix it because you're going to be able to use your gold earrings to buy groceries at Publix. Like that's going to solve it all. I could go on and on. I'm living in Florida. I watched this all unfold. I could literally go on and on. This is scare tactic 101. This is fear mongering. This is their way trying to scare everyone away from protests. But it is your legal right to protest peacefully. Do not let them scare you. But please stay aware when you're at protests tomorrow in Florida. Okay, keep your eyes peeled, protect each other. But bring your signs, bring your American flags, like Devin's video yesterday, and just stay safe, okay? But it is your right, and you should be able to peacefully protest. Do not let them scare you.
Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, I gotta show y'all something. Watch to the end, you'll see a video of the clip I'm talking about. Check this out. We all know what's going on in California. All these peaceful protests, aka riots, that Democrats are doing and that Democrats are allowing. While they're allowing it, Democrat politicians are socialists, communists, and anarchists. This is what they want, right? And so President Trump learned from the summer of love in 2020 not to wait on these people to stop these people. That's why he dispersed the National Guard and a few Marines out there to help protect ICE agents and to protect federal lands. Now, if you ever wonder why this don't ever happen in red states or red cities, red counties, I'm going to show you a video that's going to explain specifically why this does not happen. Because red states, red cities, they don't bullshit. They will F you up. You hear me? In Florida, I forgot the guy's name, the sheriff. He's like, look, if you break the law, now you can protest all you want, peaceful, that's fine. If you break the law, you're going to jail. If you break the law, you're going to jail. If you touch any of our officers, you gonna die. Your family be trying to find somewhere to bury your body. You gonna die, bitch.
If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
Black people, come on down to the front. Come on down to the front. I want you to hear this message loud and clear.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to.
I want you to think about that message that he just delivered. They ain't playing. Okay? And then I also want you to think about what's happening out there in them protest streets. They are already blaming you, black people, for the looting. So, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just informing you. Keep that head on a swivel. Be smart.
Family as a leader, one of the things that you must give high regard, one of the things that you must protect as the leader is human life. You cannot go on national television and threaten citizens of your country, citizens of your state, citizens who you vowed to protect, while taking oath of office. This has come with a lot of reactions, seeing the sheriff on one of the counties in Florida saying, on national television that they'll gun down people, that the families will be called to come take the bodies of their loved ones if they engaged in unpeaceful protests. Family for a trained personnel, a trained police officer. For you to gun down somebody, there must be threat. First and foremost, the person you're gunning down should be in a position to also take your life. Somebody who's also pointing a gun towards you, or somebody who has an object that can easily injure or kill you. Those are the rare circumstances where a police officer can easily take the life of somebody. But when we saw this sheriff, say that on national television, that really broke people. That just shows us the route that America is going through, the route of downfall. And people have been saying this time and again, Babylon is falling. Babylon's downfall is in this tenure of Donald Trump. We see more and more decisions being made badly. We see ICE officials go to schools, and take children because of the skin color. They even are not sure who they are arresting. They just see a black kid or a Latina kid in school. They come, pick them, and arrest them, from an institution of learning. How do you expect a parent to get that kid? How do you expect for that kid to even react after being arrested by ICE officials, somebody who's below the age of 18? You're also seeing these ICE officials going to workplaces and taking parents who are even to pick their kids later in the evening from school. What happens in that situation? We are seeing for the first time ever in America where families are being divided. A kid doesn't know where their dad is. A kid is taken, their dad cannot trace them. America is slowly falling, man. We are seeing more and more sad affairs in this country. Things are off. You see a law enforcer come on national television and threaten the life of his citizens that he vowed to protect. Family, things are going in a very absurd way. America is in the verge of collapsing. Things are not working in this country, and this really saddens me. When I see a law enforcer talk the way he spoke, that was so wrong. When I see Donald Trump, pushing against the governor of California to bring more and more, police officers against even the governor. We've seen the National Guard. We've seen him bring more and more police officers against the will of the governor. Something that would easily, be controlled. He's making it worsen. We are seeing right now the protests in California going rogue. We are seeing police officers, shoot in the crowd. That is so wrong. And that is the same ideology that the sheriff in Florida wants to push in the other states. They want to bring, they want an America of chaos. Why would you threaten people in that manner? As a leader, what he could have done was give out guidelines on how people should be protesting. If you must protest, ensure your safety and the safety of the officers. He should try and bring peace, preach peace, rather than making people be divided. Giving police officers the authority he's given them is so wrong. I know the repercussions of such an authority. I know the repercussions of such a rule, because people can easily be murdered, and under guidelines like the ones he has just made in that video. That is so wrong and very absurd. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this move, you know, by the sheriff. And like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'll be very grateful. Guys, comment down below, let us share what you think about the same. And guys, kindly do consider subscribing to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, we can never do this without your support. Kindly share this video widely. Thank you, and see you all in our next video. Goodbye for now.